I've started to realize that people don't want to be aware. People don't want to awaken, because to awaken is to awaken to a reality that in many ways is unfair. It is to awaken to pain. And it's much easier to escape, sedate yourself, find things to shut down, to not be aware, to not feel too much. And people who do this, they don't realize that they're missing out on something. Because they choose to shut down, because they don't want to awaken, don't want to be aware, or because they don't know how, they never get to awaken to the reality of loving yourself deeply, knowing yourself, of being yourself. Many people, they would say about themselves that I am self-aware, I'm aware of myself, I'm aware of, my patterns, I'm aware of my life, I'm aware of why I do the things I do. And I would argue that that's actually a very rare thing. Yes, you can be aware of certain things, like everyone is aware in some capacity, but being aware of whether or not the things that you do are actually things that you want to do, or is it just because that you were taught to do those things? Is it just because you were either continuing what your parents did or doing the complete opposite in an attempt to rebel from it? Because both things is not to become more aware. And it makes sense that people don't want to become aware, because they don't want to be in pain. And to be aware is to be in pain. But to be aware is also to really feel a lot, like feel alive. Yes, you might feel a lot of pain, but awakening is also to feel all the other things, joy and peace and contentment. And when you shut down, you not only shut down from the pain or for the pain, you don't just shut the pain down, but you shut the joy down. You shut down your own liveliness in an attempt to be more happy, be more at peace, to not think about the painful things, not think about the struggles, not discover yourself, but just keep it at an arm's length. And that's what most people do, because it both seems easier and less painful, but what they're giving up is an authentic life. They're giving up and missing out on getting to know themselves and getting to experience like how potent life can be, like how they miss out on the essence of what life is. And they need a lot of things to be able to shut down. They need to do a lot of things in order to shut down, which I think is interesting, because it just shows you something about how much life there is that you're trying to shut down, how much, not just how much pain there is that you're trying to escape from, but also how much life there is, how much liveliness there is. Most of us are not just afraid of our pain, but we are afraid of feeling alive, because when we feel alive, there's something at stake, there's something to lose, there's something to fall down from. Is what I'm getting. There's if you feel really high on life, like naturally high on life, then you also feel the lows of life. Then you also can fall down and feel heavy and have low energy and feel the pain weigh on you. But when you sedate yourself and escape, shut down, then you're just living in the limbo between the two poles. You don't allow yourself to flow between states, flow between emotions. You don't allow yourself to be in harmony with life, be in this flow with life. So everything becomes so stagnant. You resist growth, you resist change, you resist too many emotions, too much liveliness. That's why I think that you see so many people, especially on social media, calling other people cringe. Because, as the saying goes, being cringe is just being free. It's just not caring what other people think and just doing whatever, just not holding yourself back. But I think why people call someone else cringe is because they see someone who is either standing out, but also someone who is very lively. It's that liveliness that people think is embarrassing, because it just shows something about how much they limit themselves, how little they want to be free, or how scared they are of their own freedom. It's much easier to be a slave. It's much easier to just follow along and do what everyone else is doing and not stop and think if it makes sense to you or not. Yeah, people are terrified of awakening, because awakening means to come alive. And that is the most scary thing, because I think all in all it comes down to people resist death. They resist the fact that they're going to die one day. And so coming to life and feeling that you're alive, feeling that you're here, means that you also have to accept that one day you're not going to be here. So it's much easier to just numb yourself an entire life. Just numb, sedate, escape. Don't come too much alive, because you're gonna die. And don't think about it. I don't want to think about I'm gonna die. You resist death and you resist life. That's the gist of it. So in reality, what I see are people who live as though they're already dead, because they resist death, and they don't want to even go there. So they live a life that is very similar to a dead life, a non-lively life. So that when they die, when they reach that state of life where it's time to say goodbye, then it's an easy transition from a very dead life to death itself. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks for watching.